Go near the water. Authorities closed the beaches today after they discovered used syringes and other medical waste had washed up on beaches in Brooklyn, Long Island, and Staten Island.
Stone Bone.
So far, more than 100 syringes have shown up on local.
Stone Bone.
Authorities say the needles and other debris.
Stone Bone.
Illegal dumping.
All night long.
Stone Bone.
I said it can't go wrong.
Stone Bone.
I named this song
Stone Bone.
Hey, bring it along.
Stone Bone.
Stone Bone. Stone Bone. New York. Huh. I live in New York. New York. Hey, I live in New York. A New York. Hey, chicken. New York, Hong Kong. Tennis. Game ping pong. Hey, just dig it, bring it along. Groove in the ground. Keep all night long. Said it can't go wrong. I named this song. Horns, just dig this sound. Got to keep.
I saw the crew in there about 7 a.m. in the morning. I thought they were a contracting firm renovating the homes for the homeless in the area. So I said, you know, I want to be a part of all of that. And I spoke to Martin, and he said, no, in fact, that they weren't a contracting company, but they were a movie company, and everything that I see going up will be coming down. But I told him, you know, I still want to be a part of it. I just came over on a whim, and he said it was a good whim that brought me over because he had just been authorized to hire someone.
Anybody else upstairs?
No one's upstairs, but there's a basement downstairs.
Okay, let's go check that basement out.
Yes,
okay?
sir.
We should go with brother. Let's check this basement out. Make sure no one is in there. I'd like to give you a little brief history of what took place in Washington when the community invited us to come in Fruit of Islam with permission of Minister Farrakhan, and they asked us to come in and eradicate the community of the drugs. It took us like 200 or 300 people gathered every day in the community just selling drugs. It was a known drug haven. And we went in and the drug pushers disappeared. And as you can see, we're standing here in front of a known crack house. And it was sealed up this morning, and we're here. We're sending a message to the community that we're not going to allow this in the area anymore. Our owners set. And we have one more house located around the corner, and we're going to do the same thing there. And Spike invited us here because he know we have a rapport with the community. We don't come to do no harm to our people. We came in and asked them to leave, and they left.
We're going to be shooting a feature film on this block being done by Mr. Spike Lee. We'll be here 13 weeks shooting. 13 weeks from now, 8 weeks shooting. Starting July 18th, we start shooting. And we go through until September 9th, okay? So that's when we'll actually be filming the movie. Right now, we're building the sets, trying to get different things in the blocks for the look we want, the facades on the front of the buildings, paint them and things like that.
The entire movie happens in one day. We're going to shoot for 8 weeks, but when you go to the movies to see it, it's 1 day span. So we have to make sure we're shooting it over 8 weeks. We have to make sure that everything looks the same, because we may shoot something 2 weeks apart, but it may be the next minute in the movie. A woman called me at the office and said she lives on Hancock Street, about 8 blocks away, and that someone came in saying they were with Spike Lee and they wanted to look at her entire house. I told the woman, hey, next time this person comes, you don't let them in the house and you call 81st Precinct immediately.
Extras 15, Sal's car, and there's Raheem's music, which we're not going to deal with, right? Okay. Scene 54, interior, tenement hallway. Mookie delivers pizzas and takes money. Any problems with that? Okay. Scene 60, mother-sister stoop. Mother-sister sits at the window surveying the block. Extras 25, and the car Sal's car.
For the most part, anybody that's done anything in America has never been one person. It's been a gang of people where you just surround yourself with people who, for the most part, are your age, have the same thoughts, the same goals, the same aspirations.
There's the pizza stuff.
This Duke right here.
Right here?
Yeah.
Okay.
What we're doing now, we owe a lot to Oscar Michaud, who was doing what we were doing in the 20s and the 30s. I mean, there are always people there before you. And if you realize this, you try to just pick up the torch and try to advance that, you know, from where you came into the picture.
Scene 87. Tina's apartment bedroom. Mookie makes love to Tina with ice cubes. Mookie, Tina, ice cubes. You know we're gonna need a hell of a lot of ice cubes. A lot of ice cubes. A lot of ice cubes.
This is 39 days and we really have to be tight. There isn't a lot of money in this budget for a lot of extra fat, you know? So let's really keep that in mind. The other thing is security. This is not like school days where we're in Atlanta, Georgia, and everybody could be basically, you know, cool and hang out and shoot a film. This is in Bedford-Stuyvesant. It's gonna be 39 days in a very tense, hostile area around us. We have to be out there every day on our P's and Q's.
Yo, man, is there any work tomorrow for the local crew? I'm one of the guys that helped clean out the building back here.
It might be. Why don't you come tomorrow about 8 o'clock in the morning?
All right, that sounds good. Thanks, man.
I think I would have been crucified to do a film about Bedford-Stuyvesant and not shoot it in Bed-Stuy. I mean, there's just something about reality that you can't mess with.
Bed-Stuy, do or die. It's true. It's true. We do or we die. Sometimes we do and we still die.
One thing, togetherness. Community's not together, not bond like they used to be. I heard a lot of beautiful things about the community.
My family been here for 125 years. So we have seen the changes. My mother's, you know, when she came here, it was gas lights, carriages and horses. Her father.
Yeah, well, in the shelter, you know, it's no good, right? They're taking care of you there. Out here in the street, I fend for myself, earn a living out here. You know, everybody I know that ever went to a shelter said, steal your clothes, might be laying there asleep, they cut your throat, you know, and like, just the idea of all that, you know, and the more drugs out there, you know, in shelters and whatnot than it is, you know, out here.
I've been helping her through all of her ups and downs. I've been helping her, you know, to give her a little work to do so she can have spending money and money to buy food with. And I'm still trying to make her save 2 pennies, 3 pennies, whatever it is a day, you know.
Is coming up on page 10. Here we go. You're looking out your window and the man with his OD.
You old drunk. What did I tell you about drinking in front of my stoop? Move on now, you're blocking my view. You're ugly enough. Don't stare at me.
Ruby, you should really be, like, harder on it. Right away from the beginning. And then as the film goes on, we see you warming up.
Yeah.
Where at the end of the film, you're together. Right here, this is the first time you meet the both, you're like, You're really giving it to him.
Like you old drunk. What did I tell you about drinking in front of my stoop? Move on, you're blocking my view. You're ugly enough. Don't stare at me.
Well, I just had to write something for Ruby and Ozzy. And I wrote something where their 45-year marriage would help everything else, and they would just draw upon that.
You've been talking about me for the last 18 years. What have I ever done to you?
You're a drunk fool.
Besides that, I approach him from my own memories. Growing up as a boy, as I did, in a small southern town, and watching old black men, some too old to work, some too sick to work, some just plain unemployed, sitting around at the railroad station. And every day they would be there, and they would wait for the train to come. And they would comment on the train as it came. They would comment on the train as it stood there. and then they would comment on the train as it left, as if they controlled the train, you know, as if they made it happen. And I knew powerlessness from that. I knew the pain of it, I knew the joy of it, I knew the jokes that they told. But more than that, I knew what they were covering up.
Watch these cars, they do 90 down the street, all right? I haven't been out here that long, all right? All right, travel safe, sisters. We had 6 weeks of prep time to build the pizzeria, to build a Korean market, which was a fake facade, a front and a return, a side. The most important thing for me was to design sets, to design a pizzeria, a Korean market, a DJ, a radio station, that people would think had been there for years and years and years and years and years. And they would come and they would see these things and they wouldn't know that they're sets. And I think we've been pretty successful because people keep trying to shop at the Korean market and they keep trying to come into the pizzeria to buy pizza.
Okay, let's keep going.
Mookie,
What? How come you ain't got no brothers up on the wall?
That's
Sal, hey, how come you ain't got no brothers up on the wall here?
You want brothers up in the Wall of Fame, open up your own business. You can put your uncles, your brothers, whoever you else you want up there. This is my pizzeria, and the only people on the wall are an American Italians.
Hey, take it easy, Bob.
And you don't start on me today.
Hey, Sal, it might be fine, but you own this. But rarely do I see any Italian Americans eating in here. All I ever seen is black folks. So since we do spend much money in here, we have some say.
What are you, troublemaker?
the character really did attract me because I had never played a b-boy. You know, I mean, I had a hard time even understanding what a b-boy is, except for the cats who wear the kazals with no glass and wear sheepskin coats and have $75 sneakers and they have no job. I see those guys all the time. I didn't want to create that man, that character. He's more of, I think, in a way, a political figure, in a sense. You know, so I'd like people to start thinking a little differently about what people do when they just sit around the neighborhood all summer long. Everyone thinks that we're all thieves, that we're all robbers. Some people do think, you know, they have an opinion, and they try to get other people to think like they think.
Okay, now, Giancarlo, Danny always says, American and Italians. You have to switch that up.
You know, if it's easy, do it Italian-American. Do it Italian.
I like American.
Whatever he says.
Because that's how...
That's what I'm saying, whatever way he says, that's the way you have to say it.
Oh, I did. Okay, bet.
I always refer to myself as an American Italian.
Right. Yeah.
Since I've been over to Italy and I saw what that's like, I want to take credit for the first part of me first.
Oh,
archaic shit.
Well, I was born over there.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So I call myself an Italian-American.
Now, that's something I would never have thought. No, you would, yes. That's right.
Yeah. See, I am a black Italian. I am that exactly. My father is Italian, my mother's black. I was born in Italy, you know? So I am the perfect example of that. When I went to school, I wasn't accepted by blacks because my name was Giancarlo Esposito, you know? The whites didn't want me because I had an Italian name. I went to an Italian black high school, you know? So my friends became the Jews, straight up and down. My only friends were Jewish people because they were another outcast, you know? So I think this film is somewhat showing us that we all have this problem somewhere.
Do you know what I'm saying? I don't want you to paint too pretty a picture. I don't want to paint too pretty a picture for the guy and make him look like a flag waver that he's the world's greatest liberal, and I don't know if that's right. I think, we thought, and I thought he's not a racist. He's a nice guy and sees people as people.
Well, I think the style was a racist. I mean, but Danny didn't. I mean, one thing we had to fight against is that Danny really tried hard to make Sal a likable character.
He said those words all through his life. I believe it. Now it's grown to a point where he don't want to accept the word, and the word is distasteful to him. The same such as maybe Dago would be to him, or Guinea, or Spick. Or Spick, yeah, or Maki, or...
What?
Maki. It's a Jewish expression that was used when we were kids.
Maki for what?
Maki.
For what?
No, for nothing. We call them Makis.
Oh, a Jew was a Maki?
Yeah, yeah.
You gold teeth, gold chain wearing, fried chicken and biscuit eating, monkey, ape, baboon, big thigh, fast running, high jumping, speed chucking, spade, moulignon.
Dago Wob, garlic bread, pizza slinger, spaghetti bending, Victor Mon, Perry Como, Luciano Pavarotti, solo meal, non-singer motherfucker.
When I was little, I saw this show. I don't know if it was One Step Beyond, Alfred Hitchcock, or Twilight Zone. It was about the scientists that had discovered that after 95 degrees, the murder rate goes up. And you see him throughout the whole half an hour of the show looking at a thermometer as it inches up. Then he got murdered at the end. I must have been like 6 years old. That's all I remember about the show. But I do remember it was the hottest day of the summer. And then most of the volatile, riots and stuff like that have always happened, for the most part, in the summer.
When they first started, I asked them, if they have anything I could do. Then one day Brent just called me, and he said, you think you can handle it? He said, what, 5:45, 6 o'clock in the morning, you pick up the garbage, and then he said, at nighttime you'd be here, straighten up, sweep down, sweep up, pick up the cups and whatnot.
We've been trying to employ as many local people as possible, whether it's in the carpentry shop or on the set as an extra. We also have been doing some community activities. Spike spoke at the school where we're housing our extras. This is the heart of Bed-Stuy, and it makes the whole thing feel a lot more real than just taking a street that's on the back lot at Universal and making the movie there.
See, these people's coming around here, they're only coming here to make money. These here movie stars and actors or whatever they are, when they are finished, they're gone.
After the movies is over and you take this down and that down and that down, I don't see where it's going to help the neighborhood in.
The movie itself is not going to bring a patrolman on the corner. It's not going to bring us a stoplight. These are the things that the people in the neighborhood themselves have to work on. And the President of the United States can come through here. They'll clean the street for one day, but that's it,
For us, time is money, and we try to do things as quickly as possible. We will be yelling cuts and rolls. Whenever you hear cut, that is your opportunity to go wherever you have to go. When you hear rolling, that means that the film is moving and camera is going. So we would like to have you stay inside the building. Sometimes we'll have people in the building to make sure that, you'll know. They'll have walkie-talkies. Anybody that has a walkie-talkie, you'll be able to ask them a question, when you can go by, when you can't go by. We start shooting on Monday. We're having the block party also on Saturday. So everybody's invited. We hope you all come.
Get off my back, Jack. I have wisdom, education, strength, and freedom. A man without his heritage, he's not a man. You know what I am? Original African. Straight from the heart, cuz took me from my land, but I'm still a part of the tribulations. Feel the vibrations. You can't hold me back, me or my nation.
We have gathered today some real important people. One of the most important fathers of modern day black cinema. He caused the revolution because little guys like me who were 13 and 14 looking at this brother challenged the system, said if he can do it, I can do it. One of my mentors and one of the people who I want y'all to get to know and put together a big round of applause for Melvin Van Peebles.
Thank you very much. This is a very,
very important moment for me. It's an important moment because, okay, now listen, y'all, I didn't get here being a choir boy. Shut up. I was sitting in a movie one day, and I said, damn, man, I can do better than that. I didn't know if I could do technically or any of those things, but I just got tired of seeing the Bloods going to the electric chair or wherever, humming, and I wanted to project a different image. I don't really feel that you should separate yourself from the mass. That's a very, very salient point with Spike, which is wonderful that he keeps bringing back to the community, that he is very, very aware of the potential of a positive image or of a negative image, but of an image.
We're going to be here for the next 8 weeks, and we need your help. We cannot do this film without your help and without your cooperation. And a year from now, when you come out to see the film, hopefully you support it, we won't let you down, and you'll be very proud of the fact that Do the Right Thing was shot in your neighborhood. Thank you very much.
I have today's forecast for you. Hot! And the temperature's going to rise up over 100 degrees today, so that means it's a Jerry Curl alert. That's right, if you have a Jerry Curl, stay in the house, or you'll end up with a permanent helmet on your head. We're going to send out those happy birthdays today, too, for Big Red and Little Red, and Miss Annie Mae, who's 91 today.
I'm an independent filmmaker, but I don't really have to scratch around for money. I go directly to Hollywood for my financing. Do the Right Thing was really at Paramount Pictures first, and they liked it. Then they started to get kind of scared about the ending of the film. They really wanted me to tone it down, and I wouldn't tone it down. The same weekend that Paramount said no, Universal said yes.
Jonathan, let's see it behind the track. Let's see it like maybe halfway down the line of the track. What we're trying to do is make 8 weeks look like one day. We've broken down the script into scenes that are going to be taking place at certain times of the day. We're trying to shoot at those times of the day. I've always been an advocate of available light as much as possible and using natural light. I think this is taking it to a ridiculous extreme, you know, because it's really making life a little bit hard for us. But I think we'll just come out with more truth on the film that way.
Randy, Ruby D, how much time?
Extras are coming in now. Ruby, they're ready. They're ready. Bring them. Let's go. Let's bring them all in.
Outside, right?
Bring them all in. Ruby.
Okay, lock it there.
Ruby and Ivy, let's bring them in also. Let's have somebody
Just need now.
Just need Ruby. All right, quiet for rehearsal. Camera ready? Rehearsal.
But I still, to this day, do not consider myself an actor. You know, I do okay, but it's just leverage that I could use, you know, trying to get my films made. And if people come to see me in a film, it's that much easier for me to make a movie.
Don't work too hard today. The man says it's gonna be hot as the devil, and I don't want you falling out from the heat. You hear me, son?
I hear you, mother sister. I hear you.
Good. I'll be watching you, son. Mother sister always watches. She's a street watcher. Mother Sister is her name. And I've known women like this in my childhood where I grew up in Harlem. You know, the street watchers who mind the children and everybody's business and who can tell you about who goes and who comes.
Mookie is a large portion of the young black males today who all they worry about is getting paid.
Hell no!
About having some cash dollars in their pocket, who really don't take care of their responsibilities. And he's really just living from day to day without really thinking about the future.
Good morning, Mookie.
Good morning, Mother Sister.
How you doing today?
I'm doing all right.
Oh, the weatherman says it's gonna be awful hot today. It's gonna be hot as the devil. I don't want you falling out from the heat. You hear me, son?
Steve, everybody on this side of the block has to go to the other side. I have to clear all the way up.
I play a character named Vito, and it's my brother Pino and my father Sal. And we own this pizza parlor here, and we work on this block.
Hot. Sonny, how's the vegetables, huh? Hey, Pop, did you call the air conditioning guy?
I called them all week. You won't come in here without a police escort. Vito, get the broom and sweep out front.
Vito, get the broom, sweep out front.
Hey, Pop, see, this is what I'm telling you. Every time you tell Pino what to do, he tells me to do what you told him what to do. And Vito is the brother who is the sympathetic one who likes the neighborhood, who likes black people, and who, as opposed to Pino, who is a racist. And my perception of Vito is that he's a, he doesn't really think too deeply about anything. And as far as something like racism goes, he doesn't really understand it. You know, a person is a person, and that's the way people should be taken.
Teen apple, take two, Mark.
You're gonna pay now or on layaway?
How much?
You've been coming in here at least 3 times a day. What are you, a retard? It's $1.50.
Damn, Sam, put some more cheese in that motherfucker, man.
Extra cheese is $2.
$2?
Yeah.
Hey, you can forget that shit.
In this case, you know, I'm a pizza store owner. And the character that I'm using, more than a pizza store owner, because I never really knew one of those people, but I'm using a candy store that was in existence on Stebbins Avenue in the South Bronx. And the man's name was Spectre. And he liked everybody and liked nobody. You know, we used to steal little things from there, little candy bars and so forth. And I remember, I said, when I went down there, I said, here's the guy that we all supposedly hated at the time that we were doing business with him, until we grew old and he was no longer around. He was the one we missed most. And that's the character I'm trying to define here. I'm trying to define a man who's pretty fair to everyone and bad to everybody, but equally bad to everybody.
Yo, move!
What?
How come you ain't got no brothers up on the wall here?
Man, talk to Sal, right?
So you want some brothers on the wall? Look at your own place and you can do what you want to do. You can put your uncles up there, nephews, your nieces, your father, whatever you want to do. But this is my place. It's my pizzeria. On the wall, American Italians only.
Hey, Sal, that might be fine. Like, I know you own this. But rarely do I ever see any American Italians eating in here. All I see is black folks. So since we spend much money here, we do have some stay.
Get out of here. I don't want you to eat. Come on, get up, get out. And take the pie with you.
The thing that bothers me about bugging out is sometimes he's misdirected.
Man, what's up, man? Yo, boycott Sal's, y'all.
I don't know if he should put out so much energy on just having a black person, you know, on the wall. I don't know if it's that important.
But then we could turn that around again. You know, black people want people on the wall, then they should open up their own fucking businesses, and then they wouldn't have that problem. So the whole film was like that.
Doing the hip and the hop, the yin and the yang, the stupid fresh thing, the flip and the flop. Oh! I have today's forecast for you. Hot